Hey everyone, it's November 15th, and this is the 1 year anniversary of when I started my cancer treatment. It was a Friday, November 15th last year, 2024, and we had just literally a month before, so October 16th, I think it was, we were told I have 6 months to live if I don't seek treatment. So we frantically tried to get treatment, and it took us a month, and uh, November 15th is the first day I started it. I did some scans, I think, on the 13th. We spent some time in Boston doing my MRIs and CT scans and stuff like that. And then on the 15th, Friday morning, we went to Dana-Farber in Boston and at Chestnut Hill. And I think we were there like super early in the morning, like 6:30 or something like that. And that's when we went in. They did blood draw, looked at my levels and stuff like that. We visit with the doctor. The doctor sort of talks us through it, the process and everything. And then went to, what was it, oncology. I think that's what it's called. I forget now. Everything's a blur. This whole year has been chaos, and it's a blur. And what they did there is they drew blood. We sat there and waited for the prescription to come in. Started the treatment. It's basically, they just gave me a pill. I took the pill and we sat there for a couple hours. I think it was 3 hours. I can't remember. We just sat there and they wanted to see if there's any sort of reaction or anything like that. And then after the 2 or 3 hour mark, they drew blood again and we were off on our way. And I didn't really have any reaction while we were there. I was very congested. I was coughing like crazy. I was extremely tired because I wasn't sleeping. In fact, at that time, the only way I could literally sleep was like this, sitting in a chair like this with my elbows on my lap, with my face in my hands. That was the only way I could sleep for like a couple weeks. Just because laying on my side or anything, like just laying down in general, the congestion was just so bad and the coughing was just so bad. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't stop coughing. So I literally couldn't sleep other than sitting in a chair doing this. That was rough. So that night, excuse me, we went back to, at the time, my girlfriend's house in New Hampshire. And during the evening, as she was, I think, preparing dinner, excuse me, I was upstairs using the restroom, and I was coughing so hard, like I would cough 24 hours, just nonstop coughing, because of this. It was my whole left lung was completely, like, I think it was like 90%. I forget what it was, but it was completely just full of cancer. I had cancer all over, and it was just everywhere, and I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't breathe. I didn't have any energy. I couldn't eat. All that stuff. But anyways, I was upstairs using the restroom, and I had coughed so hard that I blacked out while I was using the restroom. That's embarrassing, but it happened. And downstairs, they heard a thud and raced upstairs, and I was just laying on the floor, and I could hear someone screaming, and I kind of woke up, and I didn't know what was going on, and my face was all scarred up. I had hit the floor. My glasses had sort of crushed like the side of my nose. I had a really bad, like, I didn't know it at the time, but I had something on my hip, like I banged my hip muscle or whatever it is on my left butt cheek. And everyone was freaking out and like, oh my God, you passed out and stuff like that. And they were super worried. We just started this trial too, so we don't know what's going on. And it's so weird because I can remember, because I had blacked out a couple times. And basically I just kept coughing and coughing until I blacked out. And I didn't realize I was blacking out some of the times. I thought I was just falling asleep. So there's a couple instances where I was just sitting on a bed and I coughed so hard. And then next thing I know, I'm like looking around like, wait a minute, what just happened? But this time around, it was so weird because it was like, I sort of remember it almost vividly, I remember coughing, and then I don't remember anything. And then I remember just like it's all black. And I remember starting to think like something's not clicking here. Like something's wrong. I'm sort of feeling like something's wrong. I think I may have passed out. I'm not quite sure. I'm just in my head. I can sort of, my brain is just sort of thinking that, but I can't physically see anything. I don't have any vision of anything. Obviously, my eyes are closed, but nothing was processing. And then sort of everything sort of started clicking in. And then I could hear like people talking. And then I sort of kind of came out. It was so weird. It's like if you're in a big warehouse and you turn on the lights and the lights sort of start flickering on, but they don't all come on at the same time in unison. They kind of just flicker on different moments as you turn on the light switch. It was kind of like that in my head. I was thinking, and I could sort of start processing like, okay, something just happened, and I think I passed out, and then sort of my brain sort of started clicking in, and things started sort of starting up and turning back on. It was really weird. But anyways, so the everyone was freaked out. Uh, they called the ambulance. They came. The ambulance checked everything was fine. the I had blood all over my face and stuff like that, but it was just sort of a scratch and stuff like that. It was actually rug burn, is what it was, because I hit the rug and just kind of. So we decided to go to the emergency room just to be safe. That's what the the cancer doctor at Dana-Farber had suggested. Maybe we should just go get checked out to be safe. So we did that, and we were in the emergency room, and I remember sitting there. We were sitting there for a while, and we were in our own little section room. I don't know what you call all those rooms, but we were in one of those rooms, and I'm on the bed, and I remember my girlfriend at the time was next to me, and I just started feeling like, I'm not feeling good. I think I'm going to throw up. And they have those puke bags or whatever you call them. And I just started hurling this disgusting, like yellow, almost like a custardy sort of liquid. And it was so disgusting. And it was so much, it just kept coming out. And I would throw up and I'd stop. And I'd be like, it'd just start all over again. It was so gross. And looking back now, I don't know if this was the case, but I wonder if like this treatment was so potent. I don't know if maybe it sort of released some of the cancer, where, because it's got pockets of just buildup in my body. So I don't know if that was coming out. I have no idea what it was, but I just wonder if that's maybe something to do with it. It just was weird. I'd never seen anything like that, and never have again since. And it was just on the same day of my treatment. So I don't know. I don't know if it's related or not, but it was so bizarre. And then I kind of did that a couple times. And after that, I was like, oh, wow, I feel way better now. I still have my cough and everything else was still there, but I just didn't feel sick at that moment. So it's really weird. They were also really concerned about the fluid around my heart at that time. So they were like, we really want to do a procedure on you to remove that fluid. And we were like, no, 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 don't do anything without talking to the cancer doctors and all that stuff. And this is a Friday night, at, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night, midnight, whatever it was. I don't know, maybe it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember. And they were really, really wanting to do this procedure because they were like really concerned about, I could have a heart attack or something like that, because there's so much pressure around, there's so much liquid fluid around the heart that it's, causing constriction or whatever, pressure on the heart. And they're worried that that could cause a heart attack. So that's when, excuse me, the next morning, I think it was morning, or the next day, I was still in the hospital overnight. We all decided to go to Dana-Farber, which means I had to take the ambulance to Dana-Farber. We couldn't drive myself or ourselves we had to take an ambulance because they had an emergency room for me at Dana-Farber to kind of decide whether or not to do this procedure. And if we were, to, I guess, to go drive ourselves, then it wouldn't be an ambulatory situation. So it wouldn't allow me to have the room. It would go to someone else or something like that. So we had to take an ambulance. So I ended up taking the worst ride of my life from Concord, New Hampshire to Boston via ambulance at 5 o'clock traffic. And it was brutal. It was brutal because I had that soreness on my hip from when I don't know what I did something to my hip there, and my butt cheek or whatever, the muscle. I think I don't know, I bruised it or something like that. And this ride was like a 3-hour ride, and it was so uncomfortable. And I'm laying on this bed, and they have me strapped in. That I'm like, can I just sit up? And they're like, no, you got to stay in this bed. So I'm just laying there, and it's just my butt is just grinding on this, the plastic of the I mean, there's cushion there, but it's just grinding and grinding, and it just hurts so bad. And every bump is just making it worse, and it's so uncomfortable. And then they had the heat on. It was so freaking hot in there, and I had my jacket on. I couldn't take it off. It was a miserable trip, and it cost me $8,000, almost $8,000 for that ride. And we get to Boston. We get to Mass General. They go in a room, put me in a room. Several doctors evaluate me. Such a funny story about this too. Several doctors evaluate me, and they're like, "Well, we need to wait till Monday because that's when the surgeons or the doctors that actually do the procedure will be in." So I had to stay there all weekend long, and just that's all I did is just hang out there all weekend. I couldn't do anything. I obviously couldn't go anywhere. I was just kind of hanging out there. And Monday morning, the doctors come in and they look at me and they're like, So this is a very uncomfortable situation that I was in. It's just pure silliness that I was in this situation. But I'm laying in the bed and the TV's right in front of me, up on the wall, up like, I'm laying here and there's a TV up there. And I'm laying there, and I don't think I was watching the TV. I don't remember watching, or maybe I was watching a show. It was like on the Comedy Channel or something like that. And I had been watching something, and then all the doctors came in, and whatever I was watching was no longer, it like ended, and now it was South Park was on. And I'm sitting there, and I'm laying in bed, and all I can see is the TV, and I'm just surrounded by doctors, and they have like a bunch of students with them as well, so they're all learning together. So I'm laying there in bed, and I'm just surrounded by, I don't know, maybe like 8 to 10 people, all just looking at me, and through them I see the TV, and it's the most embarrassing, worst scene of South Park you can imagine. The worst scenario in South Park you can imagine is going on, and I have no choice but to just sit there and look at it while all these people are looking at me. I'm like, this is the most uncomfortable and embarrassing. And I had no access to the remote or anything because everyone's like all around me. So I'm like, oh my God, I hope no one's like thinking I'm watching this. It was so embarrassing. It was just the worst timing. And then they decided that I did not need to have the procedure, so we were going to wait. And then I went home. So that was the first day of starting my cancer treatment. That's what it was like. It was just, and that pretty much sums up the entire year that I've had. It's kind of been a similar type of scenario. So I just want to put this out there and say it's my 1-year anniversary of starting my cancer treatment on this special trial. It's done amazing. I'm very grateful for everyone involved, and it's just I can't thank everyone enough. The comments, watching the videos, just saying nice things, people coming over. I've gone to lunch with several people, just hang out with certain, a bunch of friends and people, just really, really kind. And the GoFundMe stuff, I cannot thank everyone enough for that. I mean, I literally just got another, like last week or this week, beginning of this week, I just got a $6,000 medical bill again. So the bills just keep on coming, and it's painful. But thank God for everyone out there that was, donated to me. That was, I can't thank you enough. That's so amazing. But I go back in 2 weeks to do my follow up. I'll do my CT scans and my MRI, and we'll see how we are at the 1 year. I mean, we're sort of past it, but that'll be sort of the 1 year mark of my CT scans to see how we are, and kind of go from there. I mean, this year's been a rough one. Just even taking cancer out of the equation, it's been a very, very odd, weird, stressful, rough year. But I'm grateful that I was able to do what I can do, and I'm just so super thankful for everyone here and being so kind to me. I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted to give everyone an update on this is the year anniversary that I've started my cancer treatment. So thank you very much. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I hope everyone has a great winter season or fall season, whatever we're in. And hopefully we're off to a greater, happier times. So thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll post when I do my next update, which will be the November 24th week or something like that. So thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.